Okay. Today we're going to be looking at LMMS, and we're going to be looking at what's called the controller rack, which you'd probably see when you open it up. It looks like this. By default, there's no controllers inside the controller rack. And basically, a controller, once you add it, it will control any knob, dial, or slider that you can manipulate within LMMS. So it's going to be somewhat similar to adding an automation track, which I've gone over in the past, except for instead of you drawing out the controls like this, you're going to set parameters for the wave, shape, length, how far it goes. Let me start a new little project here. I'm going to turn the volume down to like 30 on this because I think it will blow you away on my recording here if I don't. I'm going to drag in an instrument here, so a little bass instrument, add a controller. Here are the controller settings. Now you have, let me see if I can zoom in here for you. We've got wavelengths here, or not wavelengths, but wave shapes. And basically this is how the movement of your knob or slider will be moving. And I'll give you examples here in a minute. Bass is basically the center point of the wave, or the way the slider or knob would be moved. SPD is speed, and higher this is, the slower it is, because this is the length between movements. Amount is how far our knob and slider is going to move. And then we also have here our phaser, which I'm not really sure what that does. I definitely hear a difference when I move it, but I'm not really sure exactly how it's working. And then you have 1 times, 100 times, and divided by 100. I've always kept this on 1. If I move it to 100 times or divided by 100, it's moving too fast or too slow for me to get anything decent sounding out of it. But that's me. You can play around with that some. So let's start. I am going to put some notes down here. I'll just go all the way across, and we'll click play. Lower that down a little bit so I'm not blowing you away. Sorry if that was really loud. Now I can once again take any knob, slider, dialer, and you should see the knob moving, although with me recording we'll see how well the animation looks. I'm going to choose controller. You have a drop down menu here. Right now I only have 1 controller, and I'll click OK. And you can't really see the knob moving right now. Normally you would. It's due to me screen recording, I believe. But you should see this knob moving back and forth based on what wavelength we have. And basically, it's hard to explain without you seeing it, but the knob movement is based on these waves here, and you have a random one here too, which is doing kind of a random wave. Bass, like I said, right now, if I set it to like a wave like this triangular wave, this pitch knob should be moving like this. See, because I'm screen recording, you're not really seeing it moving, which is kind of annoying. But the knob should be going from all the way down to all the way up, and the center point on that knob would be in the middle there. One other reason, let me disconnect this controller. If you want to disconnect controller, once again, right-click, go down, connect to controller or whatever, and click remove. There, now I can control it. You should be seeing it move like this once you add a controller. For some reason, while I'm doing the screen capturing, it's not showing. But if you have a smooth wave like this triangular one, it's going to go from here all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. And the base point is once again the center point. So if I move it to here, to where it's pointing off to there, it would basically, instead of going all the way down, all the way up, it would go halfway, then all the way to the end, halfway, all the way to the end. And if I go over this way, it would basically start down here, go up a little bit, come back down, and never make it more than halfway across. Now the amount that it moves would be controlled by the amount. So once again, if I put bass straight up, it would be moving like this, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. If I do the amount to like here, it'd be moving like quarter way this way, quarter way that way, quarter way this way, quarter way that way. I hope I'm explaining this well. I wish you could see it with me recording, but like I said, for some reason when I'm doing the screen capturing, I guess the animation's just slowed down so much that you can't see it. Speed, once again, is how fast it's moving, and the higher the number, the slower, because that's how much space is in between each movement. Once again, you can move the knob here as you would like, but you can also right-click, and you can choose a whole note, half note, quarter note, eighth note, and obviously the higher the number here, the faster it moves back and forth. I'm going to give you an example of all this in just a moment. Now, besides just knobs, you can also adjust, and this is one of my favorite things to play with this, is this little green dot here, which when you import an instrument into LMMS, this is like the center note. So basically, if you're bringing in a recording of a note from a piano, and it's a C note on the 5th C, you would want to send it on C5 there. If it's the 4th, you do that. So but if you move this, so let me hold down a note here. So you can see me moving this affects how that note sounds. So, oops, I keep hitting the microphone by accident. Let me play around with this and just show you what can be done with it. I'm going to remove some notes here, and I think I removed all the controllers. Let's put the pitch back up to center there. So there we go. I am now going to right-click on this and connect it to a controller. I'm not going to use a MIDI controller. I'm going to use the controller rack, controller 1. So now you can hear it moving back and forth. I'm going to turn the amount down. I'm going to set the speed. Let's do an 8th note. Sounding good, I think. Let's start adding in some other instruments here. So you can see how that is controlling and hear how it's controlling. Once again, I'll remove that controller. You can hear what it sounds like without that controller manipulating that note. Now I'll reconnect it. So you can definitely see how that can affect the feel and the sound of a song. Now once again, you can add multiple controllers. If you just go to Control Rack, click Add, and then you can open up each controller like so. And you can connect different things, like I can also connect like the pan. So I can make it go from left to right channel. I'll connect it to, in this case, controller 2. Use controller. Okay. Let's play with that some. So I don't know how well you can hear that in your speakers. I can hear it very well in my headphones that the bass is now going left to right instead of just being equal in both speakers. So anyway, I hope you found this tutorial useful, and I hope that you give it a play. And please visit filmsbychris.com. That's Chris with a K. There's links in the description. Also check out us on Facebook. Give us a like, and I hope that you have a great day.